Hi, my name is Katie and I'm the driver for the session and I'm here with.
Hi, my name is Mika and I will be the navigator for this session.
Okay, so today we are going to cover lesson 6 and 7. So lesson 6 was just about um, writing when routes and serving external files. So we did ever try to set up activities. So you currently have one route set up to read an HTML file. From this lesson's example, try adding new routes in the style introduced in this lesson to load assets. So I have done it already. I created a contact page, so I will be explaining the code and then we will take a look at the web. So, first things first, we had to create our contact.html in the views and then we had to link it together in the index.html in the anchor tag over here. And now I'm just gonna go over the main.js and then the route.js. So, in the main.js over here, so the contact.html over here, this is just a request for the routes, and then we have the reading and serving files for the FAS read file to deliver the HTML content, and then we have the managing errors, ensuring that users get proper responses for missing or broken pages, and then we also add new routes aligned flexible for expanding the site, and then by the route.js. Let me just get it. So over here, the route is defined under get in the method in the route object. So this means when a user makes a get request to contact.html, the specific function is called. So the response type, sorry, the response type by HTTP over here, this line of code there, that sends an HTTP response with a status code of 200, okay, and then it indicates that the content type is HTML text slash HTML. Then we've got the serving the file, so the custom read file function reads the contact.html file from the views folder, and if the file exists, it reads and it sends the response to the browser. And if an error occurs, like for example, the file doesn't exist, it logs an error and then it says a 500 internal server error message. And then when a user accesses the contact.html in the browser, they see the content of the contact.html file, like for instance, the details that we have in a file, and then um custom read. So over here in this line, if the file exists, it will send it to the browser, and if it doesn't, an error will be logged. So the contact.html route serves the contact page, making sure users can access it when it is requested. So now we are going to run the server. It is the home page. And then it says contact us if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I can also go back to the welcome page and all that. So now I'm going to move on to lesson 7. So lesson 7 is just going to be a bit brief. Uh, so over here in lesson 7, we did a capstone on creating your first web application. So here we're just setting up a web server using Node.js to create a simple server with the HTTP module. And then we're also listening for incoming requests on specified ports. And then we also defining routes for different pages, like for example the index.html and the contact.html. And then we're also using a router to direct requests from correct handlers, and then we're also serving static files, so like loading HTML pages, and then handling assets like CSS and JavaScript. And then we've also got the error handling like the 404 and then the 500 internal server errors. And that is just the foundation of the lesson. So now I'm gonna go over the route.js. So over here in the route.js, it's a simple routing system for handling HTTP requests in a Node.js server. So the routes object get imposed over here. That stores the request for post handlers with different URLs based on the request type, like the get imposed, and then we've got handling request to exports dot handle. So over there, they just allow new routes to be registered, and also the server is creating a HTTP server route dot handle that listens on port 3000. Okay, no. No, 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 no. Oh, I'm right. And then a message is logged to indicate that the server is running, and then routing with the route.js, the route directs the request to different pages based on the URL, and then the router.get contact.html serves the contact page, and then obviously the static files like the CSS and JS and images that is used to serve SS, and the utils or get file function retrieves the content from the public folder and sends it as a response, and then handling a post request to serve things.html is typically used for handling the form submission over here. Now I'm gonna run the web and show you. So here is the web page, config cuisine home. This is the home page, this is the courses, and then this is the contact. So that is it for lesson 6 and 7. Thank you for watching.